Sauropods in dinosaur games are like rocks in dinosaur games. Immobile, unkillable, and somewhat nice to look at. Or at least that's what they have been for a long time. You see, sauropods in my eyes are the most criminally underutilized class of dinosaurs in media, especially video games. They typically meet three main requirements: massive, tanky, and gray. I think this stereotype of sauropods being immovable objects with zero intrigue or nuance is kind of stupid. Sauropods come in all shapes and sizes with varying defense mechanisms, behaviors, and looks. It's very apparent that massive sauropods are boring, and impossible to balance in a game where every other creature is at most a tenth of their size. And it's also true that asking a specialized island dwarf to survive every dinosaur ever is a shit idea. But there's a solid middle ground. A Goldilocks zone of sauropods, if you will. And Camarasaurus is without a doubt the best example of this. It's large enough to pose a threat to just about everything, while not being too strong to be killed by anything. It can move around capably, use interesting attacks, and socialize with herd members in fun and engaging ways. Pair this with a delicious model, and you have the recipe for a perfect playable. The first interesting quirk of the Camarasaurus is its ability to knock down fruit from large trees, similar to Packy but on a much larger scale. This little ability makes the mundane task of eating just a little bit more interesting, while adding an immersive experience for both yourself and the players around you. These extra mechanics go a long way in providing players with a fun survival experience, and I love seeing lots of them in the concept art. Moving right along, we can see that Camara is able to wade through rivers. Although this is quite obvious due to its size, it goes to show that Camara is a confident animal that has the armor to protect itself from aquatic attackers. An interesting little detail in the concept art is the interaction between sauropods and small flyers. This adds a lot more depth to the game, and if implemented properly, could add a lot of fun experiences for a variety of players. Using a sauropod as a place to safely land is a very useful mechanic for a lot of pterosaurs, and having these pterosaurs on your back could provide some useful benefits for the sauropod player. These kinds of symbiotic relationships are sorely lacking in the current game, and would tremendously increase the immersiveness of the ecosystem, as well as providing even more fun gameplay loops for players to enjoy. Unfortunately, none of this is confirmed, but a little wishful thinking never hurt anyone. Now, it wouldn't be a complete concept art without dinosaur mutilation, and this is no exception. Camara is seen pummeling a Dilo with a rather typical stomp ability. It's really nothing special, but I hope this is communicating some kind of vulnerability to larger pack hunters, which would give these players a very interesting risk and reward playstyle to work with, while also giving Camara something to worry about. The next concept shows another basic sauropod defense mechanism being used to effectively slap a Giga. I love the size difference between the two animals. Camara is large enough to easily fend off a single attacker, but a pack or even a couple of them could easily pose a threat. It's simple balance decisions like these that make or break a large animal design, and I hope that the devs do it justice here. The final concept is the one I'm most excited about: sparring. Herbivores are inherently less interesting as playables than carnivores, simply because they have less to do. Sure, you could stun lock a bunch of helpless carnos with a packy army, but where's the fun in that? Okay, don't answer that. But any mechanic that can enhance herbivore gameplay is a good one, and sparring is possibly one of the best. Whether it's used to decide a herd leader, test your skills, or simply brawl with friends, sparring is a relatively low-risk activity that should provide a lot of enjoyment for Herby players, especially large and slow ones that otherwise won't have a ton of things to do. I think Camarasaurus is the perfect example of a sauropod done right. It allows the dinosaur to be majestic, imposing, and deadly, while also giving it a lot of fun abilities, personality, and charm. It's everything you can ask for in terms of a large herbivorous playable in the Isle, and its semi-realistic design is just the cherry on top. It adds just enough uniqueness to give it a personality, without scaring away the dino nerds. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and as always, have a good day, bro.